Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Guys, this is going to be a crazy ass video. I'm going to say things that I've never said before, and we're going to talk about one of the craziest things that we've ever seen. So, you remember Sloppy Joe, the former resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Well, you know, he had some kids. Some of them died, unfortunately, but two of them are left. One of them, is her name Allison or something, or his daughter, the one who said, I used to take showers with my dad and it was inappropriate, or whatever. She wrote it herself. It was in a journal, but that's not important. That's Russian collusion. Russia planted that. But Vladimir Putin stood behind his daughter like Patrick Swayze in Ghost and guided her hand on that paper, pen in hand, and wrote, "Dear diary, my dad made me shower with him." It's all Russian collusion. But the other one, whoa, shit, Hunter the crackhead Biden. He is back and he is talking. And now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to say some things I've never said before. I agree, here's one of them, I agree with some of what Hunter Biden said. I know. I agree with the crackhead on some things. Now, Hunter Biden isn't your average crackhead. He's not your average scratching, stealing, dick-sucking crackhead. Now, I'm not saying he ain't sucking any dicks for it. I'm just saying, when you think crackhead, you think Pookie from New Jack City, you think dirty and conniving and sneaky, right? So Hunter Biden is a special kind of crackhead. He is a crackhead with money. And his daddy had millions of dollars flowing through his hands, and he spent a good amount of it on crack cocaine. Now, I'll put a link in the description box. You want to check out the article. I'm going to talk about a few things, a few hot button issues that he brought up, but I think it was like a few hours. I'm not going to sit down and watch this shit. But he sat down with some podcaster, and he started going off. And one of the things that I agree with is basically he was defending his dad. Now, despite what we may think of his dad or know of his dad, it's his dad. And he is defending him. He's pissed off that George Clooney wrote that op-ed and basically started the death march for his father's political career. He's mad at David Axelrod. He's mad at James Carville. Is that his name? The guy looks like he's been in chemo for like 40 years. The dude, I don't know, he don't have no eyebrows or nothing. But he's pissed off at all these people. He's pissed off at the machine who made his father bow out, who handed the torch to Kamala with no primary. Now, from what I saw, he didn't mention Kamala because I don't think he could mention Kamala without using racial slurs as pissed as he was. I think he stayed away completely from Kamala Harris because he didn't want to call her a fake N-word or I don't know, what is a racial slur for Indian people, because that's what she is. But he didn't want to play with that one, so he stayed away from Kamala altogether. Even though I'd love to hear his thoughts on her. But if you like the F word, then when you watch the interview with Hunter Biden, you better put down a tarp first, because you're going to get excited. Somebody's going to get moist, because there's a stretch within a minute and 10 seconds he says the F word 15 times. I don't know if he's channeling Andrew Dice Clay from 1989. Oh! That means he's going to smoke a cigarette. He's going to put his hand around his head like this and like smoke his cigarette. I don't know. But Hunter Biden was dropping all kinds of F-bombs. And he's fucking David Axelrod. Who the fuck is he? Fuck. I mean, no bullshit. Hunter Biden was carpet bombing with the F-bomb all over these people. So he talks about George Clooney. He's like, I don't have to play nice. Who the fuck is George Clooney? He took out that fucking op-ed. I mean, he's pissed. He's pissed off. And it's hilarious because it's different when somebody on that same team is excoriating their own team. For it to come from somebody like me, who hates the left, is not a Democrat, all that type of shit. Yeah, okay. But it carries a little more weight, and it may sting a little bit more when it comes from within their fold, from one of their own. I've told this story before, but I was at work and I used to run the kitchen there at Trader Joe's, and we had samples. And so I made a miso soup, right? And this old Japanese lady, and people are telling me, oh, it's delicious, it's delicious. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But this older Japanese lady, who she's probably in her 70s, but you can't tell with Asian people, she could have been 170. But she drank the soup and she goes, this is good. Now, of course, all those other people saying it tasted good, great, thank you. But it carried a little more weight when it came from somebody who knows about that, who grew up eating that, probably makes a mean miso soup her damn self. But Hunter Biden starts cussing all these people out. Fuck David Axelrod, and he was nobody. The only job he's ever had was with Obama, and that was because of Obama, not because of him. And James Carville, he's like, he hasn't won an election in 40 fucking years. I mean, he is just Def Comedy Jam, roast battle. Remember that stupid show on MTV with Wilbur, what was his name? Wilbur Valderrama, the Fez from that 70s show. There used to be a show on MTV called Your Mama. And they would get these people from all these cities and stuff and come together and do mama jokes. You know, your mom's so fat, your mom so this, your mom so that. One of my favorites, I used to say this when I was a kid, I get in a contest, somebody, snapping on somebody. I'm like, you know what? Your dick's so small, you piss on your nuts. Imagine how small someone's dick has to be where the piss can't even clear their nuts. But anyway, basically this is what Hunter Biden was doing. If you put him on a stage with a brick wall behind him and a spotlight, you'd think you're at a comedy club. It was hilarious. But again, he was saying some stupid shit. Like, you're hearing him say, yeah, fuck the establishment, George Clooney, all these people are like, yeah, that's right, they're pieces of shit. And then he says something like, my dad passed more legislation than any other president. You're like, oh, never mind. Here we're back to the crack part of his brain. We've gotten back to the part of his brain that is rotted by crack cocaine. And he started saying, my dad was the most popular this, and he did most of that, and he won all of this, and he gave service for 52 years, blah, blah, blah. But some more of the crazy shit he was saying, he was talking about the illegals, and he was talking about how, they've been sent back to El Salvador. And he was saying how if I were president, or first he was saying, no, they're against the illegals and ICE and stuff, and well, who's gonna clean your house, and who's gonna work in the restaurant, who's gonna do this, and who's gonna work in the fields? Shut the fuck up, because you don't live down here with us normal people, with us paupers and peasants who have to live around these illegals who don't adopt our ways and our cultures and bring their third world savagery with them. So you're an idiot. But remember, he's a crackhead. Remember and you've got to have something wrong with your brain to have a laptop full of porn and drug use, and you leave it at the computer repair shop, you fucking idiot. And the pictures of his teeth all rotted out and shit. He was a real crackhead. But imagine having a vice, an addiction, but you have millions of dollars fueling it. Shit's gonna get out of control. And I think one of the problems that people had with Hunter Biden and the laptop and not Burisma, or was that the company? I don't remember the name of I can't remember the name of the company that he was working for in Ukraine, getting paid tens of thousands of dollars every month for having a job that you know nothing about. The job he didn't even show up to. It's like the mob. Hey, I fucking pay you out here. You sweep in front of the store right here. Like, really, you're looking out for stuff. You're not really sweeping in front of the store every day. So he's not really doing anything with energy or electricity. He don't know shit about that. All he knows how to do is smoke crack and get hookers pregnant and then deny the child. So I think one of the reasons people were pissed off at him is because it's not that It's not so much that he was some rich kid who's spending his daddy's money, probably has a sweater tied around his neck and some kind of convertible with those brown deck shoes on. You know what I mean? It's not so much that. It's that you're doing it off of the strength of influence that we gave to your father. You getting these deals with these companies and shit and getting paid tens of thousands of dollars and 10% to the big guy and all that shit. You're throwing that in the face of Americans who work. Most kids we don't have it to where our kids can just drive around a Corvette and smoke crack all day because we have millions of dollars. We have to work. So we're out here working, paying our taxes, and unfortunately people were dumb enough to vote your stupid ass senile pants shitting father of yours into the White House. We gave him that power. So that power is not supposed to be used for you to get rich and fuck around. Now, if your father had a company that he built on his own and he wasn't a career politician who's never worked in the private sector or created a fucking job or balanced a payroll sheet, that would be different. But the power and influence that your father have is solely derived from us. And for you to abuse it like that and throw it in our face, you left a laptop full of that garbage. How stupid are you? How much do you not care about the consequences? Because of who my daddy is. Daddy. I think that's the reason why people were so pissed about it. You're over here fucking around with power and influence that we gave to your family, you little asshole. So he's pissed off about the illegals and how they're, who's going to clean your house and all this bullshit. And then he says, and this is the scariest thing that he said, well, if I were president in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and I'm paraphrasing, but he's dropping F-bombs everywhere. The first fucking thing I would do is I'd fucking pick up the phone and call El Salvador and say, if you don't fucking send those people back, I'm going to fucking invade. There's that crack again. You're not going to invade El Salvador or any other country just because they won't give us back people who weren't supposed to fucking be here. You idiot. Why the hell would we want to bring illegal criminals back? And then he spouts off with this bullshit. An American white man is 45 times more likely to commit a crime than an illegal. And what's your point, crackhead? What's your point, Pookie? If you're an illegal immigrant or a legal immigrant in our country, you shouldn't be committing any crimes, especially if you're an illegal. You should be laying low. You should be following the rules to the T because you're afraid of being deported because you're an illegal. And we have enough homegrown criminals. We don't need to import more of them. But they're 45. I don't give a shit what they are. They're Americans. And you're going to invade El Salvador? Man, shut your stupid ass up. But does this mean he has aspirations to be president? Does it mean he has his eye on the prize, which is the White House? Now, before Kamala Harris was politically curb stomped last November, I would think, man, there are enough stupid ass people out there to elect her cackling ass. But after the way Trump won, I think I have a little more faith in humanity. So I don't think Hunter Biden would make it to the White House, but is he going to run? Maybe. Would he get a considerable amount of support behind him? For sure. All the dummies who are still in love with his father will get behind him. It's not his fault. It's a disease. He's a crackhead. He went to rehab. He's sober now. So it's totally possible that he could definitely make a stink. But it sounded to me like he might have dreams of doing that, because why wouldn't he just say, if I were president, not if I were president in a certain amount of time when Donald Trump is out of office? What a scary thought. I mean, I know it's bad to think that Kamala Harris would have been president and it would have been awful, but to have I don't know if he's former, he's probably still smoking crack, but to have a crackhead as president would be like America becoming Washington, D.C. Remember Marion Barry? Remember Mayor Marion Barry, who got caught smoking crack with a prostitute twice? And he was reelected to be mayor of Washington, D.C. That's what America would become. We have elected a crackhead as our leader. Don't put it past, I mean, again, I don't think he's going to be president, but for him to make it to like the Final Four or Sweet 16 or some shit, yeah, it's possible. There are enough dummies in this country to do that. But to hear him go off like that and drop those F-bombs, and it didn't come across as the fake cursing like Gavin Newsom, gosh darn it, damn it, that son of a bitch, and excuse me, all that. It didn't sound fake. It didn't sound like Elizabeth Warren talking about drinking a beer with her husband. It did sound authentic, but it was some crazy shit. Check out the link in the description box. Hunter Biden is nuts. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. I'm out.